Ready?
Yes. Okay, this is your first Q&A time writing at 160 words per minute. Your proper names are Cuarto, 605 Freeway, number 4, number 3, number 2, number 1, and Metro I Center. Ready?
It's cuatro.
Oh, what did I say?
Cuatro.
Oh, well, that's the way they have it typed, Cuarto.
Oh, it's cuatro.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
it's...
I'll fix it.
Okay.
I'll fix it on there.
I saw it and I was like, Cuarto. Yeah, they have
That's
the R
room.
before. Yeah.
That's room.
Uh-huh.
And this is 4.
Yeah, you're right.
So that's a big
yeah,
difference.
so it's cuatro. Yeah, so
Cuatro.
it's C-U-A-T-R-O. Cuatro.
Cuatro.
Okay,
No,
got it.
I'll fix it.
Okay, no problem. Ready? All right. Now, this arrow that I'm pointing to reflects the direction that you and your daughter were traveling, okay?
Yes.
This lane that I'm pointing to is the number 4 lane, cuatro.
Number 4.
It is typically known as the slow lane. Do you know what the slow lane means?
Yes.
As you move to the left, the numbers decrease, okay? The number 1 lane is the fast lane. Do you know what the fast lane means?
Yes.
Now, what I want to know based on this numbering system that I've just shown you, okay? Do you understand this numbering system first before I ask my question? Do you understand these are lanes of travel?
Yes, I know.
Okay. When you and your daughter entered or got onto the 605 freeway, which lane of travel did your daughter drive in? The number 4, the number 3, the number 2, or the number 1?
The number 2.
The number 2 lane. When she entered the freeway, did she go from the number 4 lane and over to the 2 lane? Or did she enter the number 1 lane and go to the number 2 lane? What happened? Please explain.
Well, we were going here.
Here, you're referring to the number 4 lane?
Is that the lane where you enter?
I'm not. I want you to tell me where you enter. I'm just using this to show that this is the direction that you're traveling. This is not a lane, okay? The only lanes are the ones that are numbered.
We were going on that lane.
Okay, the number 2 lane?
We were going on that lane.
Now, what I want to know, I'm going to ask only one more time and then we'll move on, is how your daughter got into the number 2 lane. Did she go from the number 4 to the number 3 to the number 2? Did she go from the number 1 to the number 2 lane, or was she always in the number 2 lane?
We were going to enter. One enters this lane and then goes to this one and then to this one, and all the time we stayed in that lane.
Okay, I'm going to clarify it for the record and tell me if this is what happened. Your daughter entered the 605 from the number 4 lane, changed lanes into the number 3 lane, and then changed into the number 2 lane. Is that correct?
Yes, yes. And then she remained there.
Remained in the number 2 lane, correct?
Uh-huh.
Does uh-huh mean yes?
Yes, yes.
Okay, that's one more admonition. Uh-huhs and huh-uhs, I completely understand you, and so do the rest of us. But when it comes to the record and it being written down, it's going to be ambiguous, and it's not going to be as clear. So please use yes and no, okay?
Yes.
Do you remember what the on-ramp was to get you onto the 605? Do you remember the name of the street or the freeway?
No, I don't remember.
Now, when you were traveling to the Metro I Center, the place where you were before the accident.
I was driving? No, I wasn't driving.
When you were traveling, okay? You were a passenger, correct? Did you direct your daughter on how to get to this clinic? Were you telling your daughter how to get to the clinic, or did your daughter know?
She had taken me other times. She knew.
So you didn't have to sit there and tell her what streets to take?
No, I didn't have to tell her anything.
How long did your daughter travel in the number 4 lane before she changed into the number 3 lane?
What time?
No. How long? 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes?
I could not tell you because I'm not sure. It's been some time ago, a year ago.
Was it immediate or were you in the number 4 lane for a period of time?
No. I suppose 3 minutes on one, I think. So I don't know. I believe 3 or 5 minutes.
Now, I would tell you, remember, don't guess. If it was 3 minutes or approximately 3 minutes, that's fine. But remember, a correct answer is I don't know. It's whatever is in your head, okay?
I don't know. I don't remember exactly.
Okay, thank you. We don't want you to guess, just whatever you remember. Thank you. Do you remember the date of the accident?
Yes, March 24th,
What year?
1994.
And what time of day did the accident occur?
It was late afternoon, almost beginning of the night.
Approximately? Okay, this is your second Q&A time, writing at 160 words per minute. Your proper names are Skylight, Skylark, Buick, Shadow, and 605 Freeway. And it looks like this is a continuation from the prior. Ready? Do you remember what the weather conditions were like?
It was raining.
Did your daughter have her headlights activated on the vehicle?
Uh-huh.
Does uh-huh mean yes?
Yes.
Did she have her windshield wipers activated?
Yes.
Do you remember what speed the windshield wipers were on?
I could not tell you because I don't know the speed of the windshield wipers.
Do you know if she had a defroster or a defogger activated, or air conditioning or heater or any of those?
The anti-fog or defrost was on.
Were your windows up or down?
Closed.
On how many occasions had you seen your daughter's car before the accident occurred?
How many times I've seen it?
Yes.
Every day because she lives there.
Before the accident happened, do you remember any damage to that vehicle in terms of scrapes, scratches, dents, dings?
I don't remember.
Now, you have a driver's license. What vehicle do you drive?
Me?
Yes.
It's a Skylight. It's my car.
Is it a Skylark or Skylight?
Buick.
Skylark? I don't know. You tell me. I'm just guessing. I know there's a Skylark. I've never heard of a Skylight.
I don't know about cars.
Do you drive her Shadow at all, her car?
If I have used it
Yes.
before the accident?
Yes.
Sometimes.
How often would you drive it?
Not frequently because she used it to work or go to the store. Sometimes, not always.
Would it be on a weekly basis?
No, because I have my own car.
Now, what were traffic conditions like before the accident occurred on the 605?
How was it?
Light, medium, heavy? What was traffic like on the 605 freeway?
It was somewhat, how would I tell you? Heavy because it was raining and there was a lot of rain.
Okay, and how fast was your daughter traveling once she entered the number 2 lane?
I believe she was 45 or 40 because the rain was very heavy.
How long had your daughter been traveling in the number 2 lane before the accident occurred?
I don't recall that.
You don't recall how far back from where the accident occurred she changed from the number 3 to the number 2 lane?
I could not tell you.
Do you recall whether there were vehicles traveling directly in front of your daughter in the number 2 lane before the accident occurred?
There were no cars in front.
As your daughter was driving in the number 2 lane, do you recall there being any vehicles to your right in the number 3 lane?
No, I don't remember there was anything.
You don't remember if there were any vehicles in the number 3 lane? Is that your answer?
Yes.
Do you recall if there were any vehicles traveling to your daughter's left in the number 1 lane before the accident?
Before, no. But after, when I was able to see the van that pushed us, I remember that.
Okay, were there any vehicles traveling directly behind you in the number 2 lane before the accident occurred?
Repeat, please.
Sure. Were there any vehicles traveling directly behind you in the number 2 lane before the accident occurred?
Yes. Cars were coming behind because it was heavy.
Do you recall how much distance there was between the rear of your daughter's vehicle and the front of the vehicle that was directly behind you?
No. The distances, I don't remember.
Before the accident occurred and you were traveling in the number 2 lane, what were you doing? Were you listening to the radio? Were you talking to your daughter? Were you looking around you? Were you reading a book? What were you doing?
I was looking around because of the rain. I was looking around. The rain was very heavy.
Were the windows fogging up as a result of the rain? The windows of the vehicle.
No, because my daughter had the defrost on.
Was the radio on?
No.
Were you talking to your daughter, or were you just sitting there in silence?
Yes, I was quiet because I was thinking about my surgery. It was getting close to my surgery during those days, and the rain had me worried. But I wasn't saying anything to her.
So before this accident occurred, you hadn't had that surgery on your eye yet, correct?
Before the accident?
Yes. Had you had your surgery yet?
No.
And at that time, you weren't wearing your glasses or your contact lenses, correct? And at that time, I refer to the time of the accident.
At that moment, what I had on was my contact lenses because I had gone to the doctor.
So at the time of the accident, you okay, this is your first Q&A time writing at 140 words per minute. Your proper names are Jade Evans, Grace Drive. What is that? Metairie?
Oh, Metairie.
Oh, Metairie, Louisiana. Marlene, Miss Evans, Teresa Pratt, Myers Beauty College, Meyer, Heavenly Father, and Mr. Broussard.
I think it's Broussard.
Broussard, okay. So Broussard, I'll try not to say Broussard. Broussard. And then this one is Metairie.
Metairie.
Okay, and Broussard. Okay, got it. Ready? Please state your full name for the record, ma'am.
My name is Jade Evans.
And your address, please, ma'am?
I live at 988 Grace Drive in Metairie, Louisiana.
Who lives in that residence on Grace Drive with you?
My daughter, Marlene.
And are you married, ma'am?
No, I am a single parent.
And your date of birth, please, ma'am?
I was born on February 24th, 1967.
Ms. Evans, I am Teresa Pratt. I am an attorney for the defendant in this lawsuit, Myers Beauty College.
I'm happy to meet you.
Thank you. What I'd prefer to do, first of all, is just ask you to detail for me the incident that we are here about today. First of all, when did the incident occur?
The incident occurred on May 15th, 2005.
Continue, please. Explain to me what happened in your own words.
I always go to Meyer for my permanent. I like my hair real curly. I realize it's not in fashion anymore, but I like it that way. That day, the person who usually does my hair, the man who usually does my hair, the instructor, was not present. They gave me a young woman to do my hair. She started putting the permanent fluid in my hair and rolled it tight on the rollers. She did a wonderful job with that, better than him.
Better than the man who is the instructor and usually does your hair?
Correct, better than him.
Go ahead, continue the narrative.
She did good with that. Then she told me to read a magazine while the fluid worked. I read a magazine for a while. Then after about 20 minutes, I realized she should start checking the curlers.
Did you tell her that she should check the curlers?
Correct, I did. She was very polite, but she told me she was combing out someone else's hair and she couldn't do it right then. I got pretty nervous then because I know my hair curls extremely easy. It was at least another 10 or 12 minutes before she came and took the rollers out of my hair. I could observe she was horrified when she took them out, but she didn't verbalize anything at all, just took them out and guided me back to a sink to shampoo my hair.
Was there anything particularly noticeable with your hair at that particular point?
No, there wasn't, but I'm pretty sure she could tell it was destroyed.
And then what happened?
After she shampooed my hair, she started to comb it out. It was just a tremendous bunch of frizz. It had like a halo of frizz surrounding my face. It was just horrendous.
What did she say at that point?
I said, "Oh, Heavenly Father, what have you done to my hair?" She said, "Just wait until I comb it out. It will be beautiful." Well, it got progressively worse. I knew that once it got dry, it would totally be a disaster. I told her to go ahead and dry it. It was just amazing the way it puffed out. It was almost a foot thick all around my head.
What happened subsequently?
I started to cry. I simply couldn't control myself. My hair is all I've got going for me. I received lots and lots of compliments on it. With that frizzy hair, I was just plain completely ugly. I told her I wanted to speak to a manager, and she said he wasn't around that day, that it was the gentleman who usually does my hair. She asserted she wouldn't charge me for what she did, and I laughed. I informed her she damn well better not even think about charging me. I told her I was going to sue everyone in there. Then she started crying, and I was crying, and it was just a big disaster. Everyone was staring at us. Then I just left. I just got my pocketbook and I left.
Did you contact Mr. Broussard here then?
Correct. That's when I telephoned my attorney, Mr. Broussard.
And that's when the suit got filed, I take it?
A few.
Okay, this is your second Q&A time writing at 140 words per minute. Your proper names are Ms. Edwards, Ahuz, and Is that right? Ahuz and
Mm-hmm.
Eric, Internet, Denise, and Old Fashioned. Okay, ready? Ms. Edwards, Monday we took your deposition for about 3 hours. This is just more of the same.
Yes, I understand that completely.
And the same ground rules apply that we went over. No ahas and ha'as, no shaking and nodding of the head, and don't answer questions that you can't or don't understand. Is that fair enough?
That's fair. I recall all that from before.
All right. We are here about your federal indictment on fraud charges. It is quite odd for me to be taking a statement of this type. It's not my usual.
It's not my usual either. I never dreamed I'd end up involved in something like this.
The reason we're here today actually involves custody of your child. I need to know exactly and in great detail why you think that child would be better off with your parents than with your husband while you are in prison.
My child is the only good thing I have left. I do not want Eric to be with my husband. You can see where I've landed because of my husband.
What I really need to know are the reasons why you feel he would be better off with your parents.
My parents are elderly. I know that. They have health problems, as was pointed out before. But my husband is addicted to cocaine.
We said Monday that your husband has been in a program for drug abuse and claims to have been drug-free for months now.
I don't care what he claims. He knows how to beat all those tests. He is an addict. He will never be free of drugs.
What else besides the drug abuse? What else do you think would be harmful to your son's living with your husband?
My husband is a compulsive gambler. As you know, the fraud that I committed was to fund his gambling. I don't think my son needs to be in that environment. I don't believe my husband has stopped gambling or stopped using.
Anything else?
There are some very unhealthy things going on in that house. My husband is addicted to pornography. He watches it on the internet and can't seem to stop. Would you want your son exposed to someone like that?
It's not my son we're discussing here, ma'am. It's yours.
Well, I've checked his internet history several times and found porn sites, including one time a child pornography site. I don't trust my husband with my son. My son is 12 years old. I do not want him with my husband.
And are those the only reasons?
The housekeeper, Denise, is the one that would be taking care of my son most of the time. She is involved with my husband sexually. I have found them in bed together twice. I don't want my son around that kind of lifestyle.
From what I understand from Monday, ma'am, you were very much a part of that lifestyle at one time. Is that not correct?
I definitely was. That's why I'm so adamant that I don't want my son involved in it. I don't want him to wind up in prison like his mom or something even worse, dead or something.
What do you mean by that, dead or something?
My husband frequently plays cards with groups of people in private homes. He is famous for not paying his gambling debts. Some of the men he gambles with are capable of hurting a child or of killing a child because of something like that.
I think you are reaching at this point, ma'am.
Well, you haven't been living with the man all these years.
Obviously. What does your child think about all this? Who does your child want to live with?
Naturally, he wants to live with his dad, of course. He wants to live with the one who lets him smoke marijuana and stay up until 2 o'clock in the morning. What do you expect of someone that age?
What does he think about the idea of living with your parents while you're imprisoned?
He says they're old-fashioned and that he won't get to do any of the things he wants to